Hi again. This is a class to learn how to do safe and really effective back bending in yoga. How when we back bend we can compromise our lower back and put a lot of pressure and stress on the lower back. So often people that practice lots of yoga can have a lot of tension in the sacroiliac joints, in the hips and in the lower back, and it's because we over back bend down here. Essentially, when we back bend, we want to back bend up here. The lower back does bend here, but it doesn't want to bend too much because it puts a lot of torque and tension, which then the hip joints, the SI joints, try to compensate and engage really tightly to stop us compressing our discs. So then this compression here leads to sciatica, leads to all these other problems. So actually a lot of the hip issues are because we're over bending our back. And if you're in a back bend in yoga and your lower back is pinching, just stop. It's not worth it. If you feel a pinch and you're like, oh, well, I'll just carry on because I want to try and achieve the back bend, you could end up with sciatica. So it's not worth it. What we need to learn to do is get loads of strength into the core and just bend up here. So the back bending should be just happening up here, opening the chest, because back bending is a heart opener. So this is stable. The lower body is stable, and it really gives us this sense of what we're trying to do in yoga is to create a very stable base in the lower body, in the lower chakras, root, core, energy, really stable. And then we have so much stability in the lower body that we're able to open our heart safely and effectively. So when you can't open the chest very much, but you're trying to achieve a back bend, often you'll try and achieve it by collapsing in here and keeping this closed and collapse, and then we just compromise our body. So it's a challenging one, back bending correctly, but this class should really help you to see how to achieve that. And the main thing we're going to look at is really keeping the belly back, keeping the core strong, and keeping the opening up here. So come onto your back. And we're just going to start with a little bridge pose and some gentle movement into the pelvis. What you'll need for this is a bolster, 2 blocks and a blanket. If you don't have a bolster, 2 blocks will do, but it's better if you have a bolster for the last part of the class. So sorry, we'll come down and you can start here. So take a few moments, bring your hands onto your lower belly. Just start to feel a little tilting and tucking movement in the lower body. So on the exhalation, draw the mula bandha, the pelvic floor, up and feel the belly coming in and back. So you're hugging your belly back and down. And then inhaling, feeling the pelvis tilt, feel the belly relax. And a little arching in the lower back, the chest coming up. Exhaling, drawing the belly back and in. Inhaling. And as you're doing this, just get a real sense of the shapes your body's making. So when we draw our belly back, it tends to flatten the spine, and you'll feel a sort of a rounding forward almost in the shoulders and the chest. And then as you bring your belly forward and you arch your back, you'll feel that back bending shape happening. So this is one of the reasons why we end up over back bending, is that our body naturally makes these shapes. There's nothing wrong with these shapes. It's just that when we're doing strengthening, strong positions, we need to somehow find a mixture of the two of these. So imagine that in your back bends, and what you're going to find in this class is a mixture of these two positions. So you feel the back arching, the chest opening, and then exhaling, drawing the belly in and down. So can you do this now? Can you feel your back arching, feel the belly opening, feel the chest opening? Keep the chest open and then draw your belly in. So that's more the feeling you're going to get in back bending. Let's do that again. So chest opens, back arches off the ground, feel the shoulders opening, Just let that relax there, chest open. And then on the exhale, keep the chest where it is, open, shoulders open, and just draw your belly back. So the back will kind of come down a bit. That's more of a back bend feeling than you feel when the belly stretches. Okay, so back bending wants to feel more like this. So just a couple more times so you really imprint that feeling into your body. Chest open. So now it's just the lower back that's moving. The chest is staying open. You can even keep your hands on your shoulders, keeping them open. And just feel the belly come up and then the belly come in and back. One more there, inhale. Feel the pelvic floor come up, belly come back. Let's just do a little rolling bridge there. So bring your feet in a little bit, hands beside you, and then lift your hips up on the inhale, lifting up, strong buttocks coming up, and then relax your back down and just melt your back all the way down to release the tension. Just take a few of those, inhaling, rolling up. Exhaling, rolling down. One more. And down. Draw your knees into your chest and just do a few little circles there. So we do a bit more core strengthening here. So bring your arms up alongside your ears, and with your arms up by your head, can you bring your feet up into the air, straighten the legs. So we're going to work on engaging the legs and the belly here. Keep the arms out to the side maybe a little bit, and play with straightening one leg towards the ground and then pulling it back up again. And then the other one, and just see what happens in your back, and keep your belly in and down. So we're trying to keep the belly down towards the ground as you lift one leg and then lower the other one. And then lift it up, inhale, and lower down, exhale. And lifting up. Okay, when you lift up this time, rock your legs as if you're going over your head, rock. And then do another one of those, rolling, rocking, and then bring your arms underneath you. So rock your hands under your back like a little shelf that your hips rest on. Then doing scissoring. So now moving one leg up and down. So they go past each other and you're resting on your hands. And see if you can really keep your belly down, strengthening and stretching the hamstrings, engaging the legs, shoulders down. Try not to create tension in the shoulders. As we start to build a bit of heat, find the breath, slowing your breath down. Okay, one more there. And then draw the knees in, and then reach your hands around, hold the back of the head. And then what I want you to do is rock. And see if you can rock your arms in and your knees in. So it's like you're making a little bundle, a ball of yourself, and you'll feel this is squeezing the belly, engaging the core, and bringing some heat. You'll feel this heating up the belly, squeezing in. A couple more times. Squeeze on the exhale. And 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And then feet down, rest the head, rest the hands on the legs. Bring the feet up. Hang the feet in the air so the shins are horizontal, thighs are vertical. And then pick the elbows up slightly, tuck them in, tuck the shoulders under. And then just apply a bit of strength. So maybe elbows have to lift slightly here. And push the thighs with the hands. And then push the thighs into the hands. So we're going to keep still here. It's quite strong. And you should feel this really heating the belly, engaging those tummy muscles. A couple more breaths. One more breath there. And then slowly draw your knees in and then circle around. So when you're ready, roll over to your side and push up onto all fours. So coming into cat-cow when you're on all fours, making some space for yourself and just rolling the back. So exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, opening. And remember when you were lying on your back just now and I was getting you to do that tilt and tuck, and you can feel this natural movement in the spine, which we want. We want to let the spine move in this way. When we're not trying to back bend, it's fine. So we're not weight bearing, we're not adding force to the body and strengthening the body. When you're adding resistance and you're in a back bend, you want to find a combination of these two positions. So see if you can find this now. So cat pose is the belly really lifting up and the chest rounded. Cow pose is the belly stretching. There's no strength in the belly there and the back is tightening. So now keep the chest open like you're in cow pose there, and then lift your belly up, but don't round your back. Keep the chest open. So this is the feeling of back bending. We want this kind of feeling. And then we start to open the chest more there. So feel the belly come up and you're really feeling that resistance as the shoulders come down the back. And then let it go. So it's challenging. You can see that's why we tend to avoid real back bending, because it's actually really core strengthening work. And it's much easier just to go like that. So if we could just back bend like this, like in cow pose, of course we're going to do that, because you can feel that's way easier than lifting the belly up. So that's what we're working with. And you'll really feel the difference in your back if you can work this way. So let's do a little bit of engaging the glutes, the bum, the hamstrings, to support the lower back. So knees together. So lift your right knee up and bring the heel back towards the head. Then scoot the knee under. So like cat-cow, this is exaggerating that movement without resistance. So the leg is able to move in and out without resistance, just the air and gravity. And then you're going to round your back into cat pose, lift your tummy, and now try and bring your foot up without letting the tummy go and without the back moving. So if my leg comes up, it's because I've arched my back and I've let my belly go, and then there's no resistance. So round the back, tuck the tail, lift the belly, and then try and lift your foot and just squeeze up. So I can honestly lift my knee a couple of inches, and then I've got the resistance there in my glutes and back. Then keep the tummy engaged and let the back lengthen. Keep the tummy engaged. Feel those bum muscles, glute muscles working. Keep the tummy engaged. It feels like you're pulling against an elastic band. And then reach your leg out really long. Keep the tummy engaged, reaching long, chest open. So this is a back bend. Belly is really engaged, chest is open, leg is long. Rest the foot on the ground and then give a little pump there to the leg. Oh, it's hard work. So of course, if we can kind of get away with doing this and without the core strengthening, we would, but it's hard work. So just do a little swinging, releasing there, and we'll come to the other side. I'm coming up onto my knuckles for a moment just to give the hands a rest, whatever you need there. Okay, so knees together, and then lift the left knee up and down a few times. So you're rounding, exhaling, inhaling, opening, exhaling, rounding. So you'll feel there's no resistance, and this is a back bend. When your knee lifts and you're back bending, and it's kind of easy to bend the back in that way. If we do this and we overdo this when we're standing and we're doing these deeper back bends, that's where we get compromised. That's where the lower back issues can start to occur. So we want to engage more support. So how you can feel that is round the back, lift the belly, round the back. Now bring the leg up, but don't let your back change position and don't change the belly position. So you'll feel there's a sort of a break on, and it's your core muscles are engaged and pulling you in the opposite direction. So then start to slowly lengthen your spine, but keep the tummy strong, lengthen the spine, and then start to lengthen the leg away, but keep the tummy strong, keep those buttock muscles working, lengthen, 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 reach the leg away, reach the chest open. You'll feel that's your back bend, chest opening really long, and then tuck the toes and rock back. Deep breath. Okay, and then rolling and rocking the hips, whatever feels good, just to let that go. Okay, so let's use that work in Cobra. So Cobra is one of these, so come down onto your tummy, back bends that we can really compromise our back in. It's easy to do it wrong. I'll show you wrong. So wrong is where you're just kind of coming up like this, collapsing the lower back, and we're propping on the arms. Cobra, what it looks like is hands are under the shoulders and you're coming up with the belly working, the shoulder blades down the back. So to talk you through this, bring your hands under your head and just rest down. And what I want you to feel here is, can you feel your buttocks engaging, so the glutes engaging? Can you feel your navel lifting, your tummy lifting, and your pubic bone pushing down? So what you're trying to do is lift your tummy off the ground without your bum lifting and without the chest lifting. So the pubic bone pushes down, the tummy lifts up, and you feel the back flattening. You can even bring your hand onto your lower back there and feel when your tummy lifts up, your navel lifts, the back flattens, and it takes out that compression on the back. Lift the tummy. That's what we want to feel in Cobra. Okay, so bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, rest the head. And what I want you to do to come up is first of all lift the tummy before you lift your chest, your head, or anything else. So lift the tummy so the back flattens. Feel the pubic bone push. Then from there, keep lifting the belly. So it's like the belly is lifting the chest. Keep lifting the belly, keep lifting the belly. Once you come up here, you can give your hands a little push, but you're lifting from your tummy, elbows are in. That's it, and then slowly coming down. It's very hard to do Cobra with the arms straight correctly, so you're best off keeping the elbows bent at all times. So again, lift your tummy, feel the buttocks go in and down, so the buttocks go down, the tummy lifts up. Push the pubic bone and keep lifting the tummy, keep lifting, 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 elbows in. And you should feel your chest open and the back is really strong. You shouldn't be able to come up too high if you're doing it correctly. So one more of those. Lift your tummy first. Bum down the legs. Pubic bone down. Pull back with the hands. Shoulder blades down the back. Keep lifting the belly. Take a few breaths. Relax the neck and the shoulders. And then lowering down. So it's a really challenging position when it's done correctly, Cobra. It's a core strengthener. Well done. Bend the knees and just circle the feet. Take a few breaths there. So we're going to come up to downward facing dog and feel this effect of the belly coming back, the back flattening in downward dog. So bring your hands under your shoulders, push up onto the knees and come up to dog. And when you're up in dog, can you feel the chest collapsing down, so the ribs are sticking out forward, and then can you draw your ribs in and flatten your back? So draw the ribs in, flatten and lengthen the back, and then collapsing the back, bend the knees, and then draw the ribs in. So it's almost like doing cat-cow in downward facing dog. And this helps to wake up the core muscles. Pulling back. One more of those. Drawing back. And then we're going to come forward to chair pose and apply this in chair, stepping forward, folding over the legs. Bend the knees, bring the feet a bit closer together, bring your hands up onto your knees. And then from here, you're going to raise your arms, and in chair pose, you can feel this back bending thing happening, where if we really let the bum stick out and the chest come forward, the back arches, we don't actually have that much core strength. So what I want you to do is bring your hands to your ribs, feel the ribs flaring, and then draw the ribs back. So you feel your back flattening, draw the ribs back, and with the ribs back and the back a bit flatter, now can you draw your elbows back and then reach your arms up. So see if you can sit down into your hips with the ribs coming back and the belly coming back, and you'll feel that really strengthens in the core muscles. Take another breath, coming up, inhale, and then release the hands, and we'll do this once more. So bend the knees, reach the arms up, and as the arms come up, bring the hands together and pull the ribs back. Inhale, ribs out. Exhale, ribs back. Inhale, ribs out. Exhale, ribs back. And then inhale up. And exhaling, arms down. Stepping the right foot forward, left foot back into a high lunge. Raise the arms, same thing here, reaching the heart open. And then exhale, ribs and belly back. Inhale, chest open. Exhale, ribs and belly back. And you should feel your back flattening. Inhale, ribs open. Now, as you bring your ribs and belly back, can you bring your shoulder blades back? So ribs back, belly back, shoulder blades back. Everything going back. And then releasing, downward facing dog. It's pretty strong, but so good for your back. Walking the legs, come forward into plank, inhale. Lower through chaturanga to the ground, exhale. Cobra, lift the tummy, shoulder blades down the back, heart open. Downward facing dog. Exhale, stepping the left foot up for your high lunge, coming up, raising the arms. So let's play with that again. Feel, and can you feel this is quite a habit that you might feel more familiar to kind of collapse there in the back, and then draw the ribs back. Inhale, chest open, exhale, ribs back. So it's like cat-cow. Inhale, ribs open. Now draw the ribs back and keep the back legs strong. Now with the ribs back and the belly back, can you now pull your shoulder blades back? Draw the arms back. There's your back bend. Keep the belly coming back. Keep the ribs going back. Keep opening up. Strong legs. One more breath. And downward facing dog. Plank pose, strong legs. Lower to the ground, exhale. Cobra, inhale. Elbows in, lift the belly. Exhale. We'll come to up dog. So point the toes, hands back a little bit more. And as you lift to your up dog, lift the knees and then pull the ribs and belly back. Ribs and belly back. And then roll the shoulder blades back. Lift the belly, shoulder blades back. Take another breath. And then downward facing dog. You might need child's pose now. It's hard work. There's a big payoff for this, and it will start to become more of a habit. If this feels like it's really difficult, really hard to get this, then just know that it's really needed if you're doing stronger yoga practices, and you'll really benefit from this. We'll do a little bit more to imprint this, but just take a few moments now resting. Okay, so a couple of the other positions that can really compromise the back are bow pose and camel pose, where often you'll feel a pinching happening. So come onto your tummy and I'll show you bow pose. A great way that I've learned how to do bow, because I've really struggled with this with my back, has become quite, really compromised from back bending incorrectly. So I've had to learn the hard way myself. And so for me, bow pose, one of the things I've learned to do, hold your ankles, keep the feet together, is pushing the knees down. So feel, instead of lifting the feet and the knees up, which will compress the lower back, see if you can push your knees down and lift the chest up. So the knees go back, the chest goes up, and it's quite a different feeling. You might not go up as high as you're used to, but you're keeping your lower back strong, the integrity of the joints. Push the knees down. Push the knees down. Take another breath. And then resting. And if you want to try that again, take a few moments playing with that, playing with the difference between lifting the knees and lowering the knees and pushing them back. One more breath. And then slowly coming up. Downward facing dog. Walking out the legs. Stretching back, then draw the belly in and back, shoulder blades down the back, and then come forward into plank. Do a little bounce here, and a roll from side to side, so you're rolling your feet. Come onto your knees, and sit back. Okay, so we're going to come to camel pose. Camel pose, spitting camel as it's called, because it's one of the main ones that for most people you'll get a pinch in your back in. And that any pinching feeling in the body, any pain, any sort of sharp pain in the body, your body is very, very clearly saying, stop. This is bad. This is a bad idea. You're going to get hurt. If we ignore that, it's like, why are we even doing this practice? It's bonkers, really, because you'll end up injured. And it's all because we want to make this shape that we think will be good for us or it'll make us a better person. But in the end, we need to learn to listen. So, can you listen to your body? Is the big one here. So, I've got my bolster. So, I'm going to put my bolster on my heels. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you just have blocks, then you can do this with blocks. It's a little bit more wobbly, but you put the blocks up at this height, either side of the feet there. Okay? I'm going to do it with a bolster. It's more stable. So I'm putting my bolster on my heels to keep the toes pointed. That makes a more clear, full back bend in the whole body. So the whole body, the front of the body is opening. So what I want to do here is now learn how to open here and keep the integrity down here, which is what we've been building up in these practices. So bring your hands behind your back and see if you can feel the shoulder blades come back. And if the shoulder blades don't want to come down the back and the shoulders are very tight and they won't come back, this is where you could get into trouble over bending here. So play with getting the shoulders back. That's it. Okay, and then lift your tummy muscles up and draw the belly back so the lower back is very stable, and then see if you can reach and touch the bolster. You should only just be able to touch it with your fingertips, and I've got long arms and I can just about get there. And then the other hand, and then with the hands there, push, not to bring the hips forward, but to bring the chest up. So you can see here I'm bringing my chest up, chest up, chest up. Now there's no sensation in my lower back. It feels really comfortable because I'm doing all the bending in my chest and in my back. And then if you want to, the head can go back and opening up, feeling this big opening in the heart. Slowly coming back. You can sit back on the bolster. Just that very last moment of camel for me there, I could feel my back starting to pinch, and it was because I think I was starting to come out and I was losing the control. So really listen, really notice when it goes from comfortable to uncomfortable, and notice when that's happening, and you'll start to recognize this pattern in the body of collapse, essentially, that we want to avoid. Okay, we're going to go again. So lift your chest, roll the shoulders down the back, lift the belly, bring the fingers onto the blocks or the bolster, and then lift the chest up. So your chest is going up, up, up. The belly is lifting. The hips are coming up and forward, opening up. Deep breath. If you want to, you can let the head go right back. And then slowly coming up. Control your descent. Yeah, that felt better that time because I was controlling coming out better. And just sit and feel that practice. Feel the effects of that big opening. So we're going to come to a final restorative. This is lovely, or two restoratives. So you're going to lie back on your bolster. Just flatten it out. And you might want your blanket here, maybe. So I'm going to lie back, and this is where we start to really enjoy this opening that you've created in the body, all the strength. So I'm on my bolster with my bum, and I'm lying back. And then my head is going to come back onto the ground. So I've just pinned my shoulder blades onto the bolster there. And then rest the legs down, feet on the ground. Tuck the shoulders in and under so that the shoulder blades, just the very tips of them are on the bolster. And then the shoulders kind of drop open. I call this the free fall because it feels like you're kind of falling back. If you want to, you can put something under your head if it feels like the ground is too far away, or you can tuck it under your neck. And see if you can let the shoulders open out. You'll know pretty quickly if this doesn't feel safe for your neck, it doesn't feel right, then listen to that and just roll off. You don't need to sit up, you just kind of flop to the side to come off. And then if it feels nice, let's stay for a minute or two. And just let the chest open, the shoulders open, the heart open. Feel the imprint of those practices. Make sure the shoulder blades are still pinned to the bolster. Let the nervous system settle, unravel, open. And as you lie here, feel that memory of the belly coming in and back. You can just almost feel that here very subtly, this sense of stability and support for your spine. Can you really let go, drop down, open up, collapse? And then just slowly rolling to the side, so rolling like you're plopping off. And then roll up. Okay. One last lovely back bend here. So grab your block and your blanket. So with your bolster, if you've got one of these heavier ones, make sure you don't have too much filling at the end your back is on. If it's a foam one, you don't need to worry because they stay the same shape. But otherwise, if you can, empty out some of the filling to the top so the end close to your back isn't so full. Put your brick under your top of your bolster. That's where your head is going to go. So we're going to lie back and just really support the whole back now. So make sure you're not completely up against the bolster, so you've got maybe just an inch of space between you and bolster there, just slightly. Then you're going to use the blanket here. So I'm opening up my blanket so it's at its longest, and then this is going to support the legs. So put your blanket over your feet. This is so that we're creating cushions for the thighs, so it's not to go under the bum. You can cover up your feet, which is nice. Get all the excess blanket and kind of bundle it up to make cushions. Then lie on the bolster, pull your feet in, and then you just like butterfly the legs until the legs naturally sort of rest onto the cushions created by the blanket. So that supports the legs. And then let your back rest on the bolster. That should feel really good now. Let the arms drape out to the sides. If your elbows aren't touching the ground, you can always find something to put under the elbows there, or you can rest your hands on your body. So stay here for a few minutes, really resting, and I'm going to take you through a body scan. Feel your body landing, resting into the support, and bring your attention down to your feet. Feel where your feet are. Feel the toes, where they're touching each other. Bring your attention up your legs, around your knees. Can you feel both knees? Moving your attention into your thighs. Feeling all around the hips, the pelvis. Feel where the thigh bones go into the hip joints here. It's all open there now. Feel around the genitals, anus and pelvic floor, the whole floor of the body, relaxing there. Bring your attention to the lower belly and see if you can feel a few breaths in the lower belly. Letting the hips settle and sink down. And then releasing your back into the bolster more so you feel where the back is supported and held. And just let your back really release down. Feel the side waist. Feel the belly soft. See if you can feel there the opening in the chest, the very natural opening in the chest and the armpits and the heart. Feel the spread of the arms releasing out and down, shoulders opening. Right down to your hands, so there's an opening, a softening all the way down to the hands, the fingers, the thumbs. And then bring your attention into your head. Feel your head, feel its weight. And feel where the brain is sinking back into the skull, the eyes sinking back into the sockets. Soft temples and forehead, soft features. Can you feel the bones of the jaw, the upper jaw, the roots of the teeth, the sinuses? Can you feel the jaw bones, the roots of the lower jaw, teeth, bones? Feel around the tongue and the throat. Let your throat relax into the palate. So the tip of the tongue is resting up into the palate, and the breath. So soft and silky and smooth now. And just staying here for a few minutes, resting down. Keep settling into your breath. And just starting to prepare for sitting, so you can roll to come up. And as you come up, you can sit as you are there against the bolster, and then just swing the legs round and then come up to kneeling with your bum just sitting on the end of the bolster there, so you're in a supported kneeling position. So I'm going to turn around there. So staying there, supported by the bolster, you can put your blanket around you over your legs. Take a few moments here, just settling, feeling the breath. And take a moment as you sit and let the practice permeate your body and these imprints of a new way of back bending, a new support system in your body. Just take a moment to think about why you practice yoga. What brings you to this practice? What elements and aspects to the practice support you? What do you love about this practice? And just see if that correlates, and check in with the way you're advancing, you would say, the way you're maybe challenging yourself to go deeper in your positions. And see if maybe your needs, the reason you practice, it doesn't really matter how deep you go into a pose, how advanced you are in the positions, because you benefit from the practice no matter what you're doing, no matter how far you go into the pose. But if you come to it and just practice restoratives or meditation or stillness, you benefit just as much, if not more, than you do when you would consider yourself going deeper or advancing. So it's good to check in and really refresh our focus and check, why are we practicing? What's it for? And can we create more stability and strength in our values, in our alignment, in listening to ourselves? That's a really advanced practice. Bring your hands to your chest. One hand over the chest, the other hand over that hand, and just feeling into your heart, your inner teacher. And feel like you're making a promise now to yourself, to your body, to listen, to respect its messages, to pay more attention, and to trust your pace, to trust that when you feel injured or when you feel in pain, that that's your best teacher. To just keep coming home to this practice, to what's important to your heart. So well done. I hope this helps. Enjoy your back bending. Namaste.